Zach Stein, co-founder of Carbon Collective, and welcome to Chapter 3 of the Ultimate Guide of Sustainable Investing. In Chapter 1, we started high level, looking at climate change and why investing is such a critical tool for solving it. We cannot solve climate change without dramatically change how we're investing as a globe. In Chapter 2, we then zoomed in a bit and looked at how should you think about your personal investments, given that fact. And now here in Chapter 3, we want to zoom in on one point even further of why do we believe that when we're looking over a long time horizon, the next 10, 20, 30 years, when some of us will be retiring, why investing in a way that is sustainable and sustainably focused, particularly around climate change, could very well lead to being a smarter investment from a financial perspective than just traditional investing with the market. Basically, when we look at our arguments, we look at the fossil fuel industry as fundamentally an industry in decline. It is getting more and more expensive to extract fossil fuels. All of the cheap stuff that is easy to get is getting used up, which means that the cost of going out to find the harder stuff is rising. At the same time, the replacements for fossil energy from fossil fuels, solar, wind, geothermal, etc., their cost is coming down as they're scaling. So this is the scene in which we're in, where we're not talking about legislation, although that can certainly add it to the speed of the adoption of climate solutions, but just to the marketplace as a whole. When we look at some specific examples, for example, oil, about half of the oil that is consumed in the US is consumed in road transportation. So this is your and my car and truck, and also big rigs. There is technology, electric cars, that is simply better, especially for replacing your and my cars. Electric cars, they are faster, they are stronger, they take considerably less maintenance. You can charge them at home. They are a better technology. And while they are still more expensive today, that cost is coming down and they are expected to reach cost parity with fossil fuel powered cars relatively soon. So that is half of the oil use in the US that is potentially going to be threatened by a new technology and be replaced by it. We see similar things with coal. The vast majority of coal is used for electricity production today. Wind and solar are cheaper forms, even when we include batteries in many places in the world, of generating and storing electricity. On natural gas, we're seeing some exciting things too, although that is one of the areas that might be one of the hardest to decarbonize. So overall, when we look at the climate landscape, we can see fossil fuels and the industries that depend upon them, as a lot of them are fundamentally facing very strong headwinds going into the next decades from purely a market perspective. And then the technologies that are replacing them are poised for growth. When we think about sustainable investing, the question we like to ask, again, zooming all the way out, is would you rather hold an industry that has been around for a very long time and is starting to peak and probably go down, or hold an industry that is just at its beginning and is set to start gobbling up market share? We very much believe it's the latter, and it's why we argue and believe that, again, over the long term, that this type of investing strategy, whether it's with Carbon Collective or others, is likely going to win out. So let's dig into those arguments. Thanks so much for reading.